Hey guys, NEGRON'z here with Finding Freedom RV, and my other YouTube channel is NEGRON'z 2-Bit TV. And for you guys that don't know, I'm a commercial driver. I drive an 18-wheeler here, up here in New England. And being a truck driver, you know, during these times has gotten to the point where we're the backbone of this country. We're really the most essential out of the essential, because without us, there's no health care. There's nothing without us. And the lack of appreciation, you know, it just boggles my mind. We were heroes for the first 2 weeks, and then it just became just like every other day. Typical truck driver, right? But I can deal with that. Besides the point of this video, and I'm not, you know, prior to 2016, I really wasn't a political guy until President Trump became president, and I saw the rhetoric and propaganda in a negative manner towards him, and I wanted to know why. So I started to do my research, and it became a hobby of mine. I'm a Republican. I'm conservative with my conservative traditions, but I'm open-minded, and now I find myself more independent because both sides are to blame for the result of what we see today. And honestly, it scares me. I mean, no matter what corner of the country you are in or from, you see it. You know, honestly, and my viewers, please don't take offense to this, and a lot of friends of mine are Democrats, and I try not to get into like conversations with politics with them because, you know, you know, I can tell you it's sunny out and you're going to tell me no, it's cloudy out. So I try to avoid it, but most of my Democratic friends will tell you that the Democratic side is like so far left liberal that it's pathetic. Like today, it's really a syndrome, and you know, liberalism is becoming a domestic terrorist, you know, thing here in our country, and I have to blame the media on this. Like the propaganda, you know, that the media portrays and you know just pumps out. It's a well-oiled machine designed for, you know, an agenda, a narrative. And if it doesn't fit their agenda or narrative, then you don't hear about it. And, you know, like I live here in Connecticut, so this is a Democratic state, unfortunately. And our local news affiliates and constituents, they're all democratically owned. So all you hear is negative this, negative that on Trump and, you know, what's going on. But, you know, let's not talk about the good things that he's done, right? Regardless how you feel about him. I have actually witnessed even the school systems and the municipalities, you know, who are Democrats, you know, talk bad about a president. It doesn't matter whether you like him or not. He's a president. You know, I blame parents today for not disciplining their children with morals and respect for authority. And that's a big problem that we have today with the millennials. They just, I'm sorry, but most of them are dumb as shit. Excuse my French. And I blame that a lot on their parents and the school system, because the school system are all democratically owned and ran. And so you get that like ideology that gets forced onto your child, regardless of whether the parents are Republican or Democrat, and then the children come home and they start arguing with their parents. You know, I've been through it, and I have to, like, you know, teach my children that it's okay to be either or. But what you're seeing today is not the way it's supposed to be. You're seeing, even like with the colleges, you're seeing colleges force like the, you know, idea of Antifa onto their students, and that it's okay. I mean, there's so many colleges out there that have been caught red-handed, you know, funding Antifa and domestic terrorist groups like them, okay? And what I feel so bad about and sorry for is that they're followers and listeners, they're dumb enough to believe the garbage that's being pumped out. You know, what happened to America? You know, freedom, liberty, justice for all. Like, where is that? It's like gone. You know, our politicians, they're all worried about just lining their pockets with money. They only give a shit about your votes every 4 years. And it's gotten to be, you know, out of control. Most of the poverty that's in each state, you can blame on a Democrat, honestly, and some Republicans. But mainly, and do your research, you will find that Democratic states in their big cities, they have these ghettos, and I shouldn't say ghettos, I should say, you know, less fortunate areas, you know, below poverty levels. And I blame politics, and I also blame individuals, because you know what? I've got a lot of black friends, Chinese friends. I've seen people grow up and become extremely successful. This is the land of the free. That's why other countries are dying to come here, you know, and why we have so many illegal immigrants here, because people, you know, we take this country for granted. Other countries, they love it. They come here, they're dying to come here. And the people that live here that are native, like myself and millions of others, 350 million others, are taking it for granted. And I know I'm getting like off track here, but it's getting to a point where our own people are shitting on our own country. And I blame the people who don't want to better their lives. And that's why people get stuck in poverty. They don't want to better their lives. They want to just stay on welfare and stay on government. People who need it absolutely need it, you know, and I got nothing against that. But I have a problem with people leeching off the system, because that changes the mentality of the individual. And if a child sees a parent leeching and not trying to better themselves, then chances are 8 out of 10 times that individual is going to grow up with the mentality of I'm entitlement. Me. And that's exactly what we see today. Of all different, you know, nationalities and backgrounds and everything else. And it's sad. It's like, it's, you know, I'm that kind of guy that will bend over backwards for anybody, you know, and help the old lady cross the street with her groceries. You don't see that anymore today. You just don't, you know, and it's sad. And I try to teach my son, Hayden, morals, discipline. This road is bad, God. And not too many parents actually care anymore, so they just don't teach their children morals. And this is a result. This is what we see. This is what we get. And then we wonder why. What the hell is going on? Oh, we start blaming the finger and pointing at everybody else other than ourselves. It's got to stop, man. You know, Democrats, liberals, get your shit together, man. And Republicans, and just, we need to live in a world where we all get along. And the media, that's the biggest enemy, okay? I'm sorry, but the liberal media that's out there, CNN, MSNBC, NBC, CNN, ABC, whatever, right? They all have an agenda. They all have a narrative to fill. And I'm sorry, but Google is a lot bigger than most people realize. Google owns most of all the airing networks that we see today on our cable. No matter what, Dish TV, Direct TV, doesn't matter, man. Google owns everything, so they have a narrative that has to be set, and it is like a protocol. This is what they want to see, and if you don't put that out, you don't get monetized. You don't, you know, freedom of speech, your First Amendments, all your different amendments that give you freedom to make money on YouTube being censored with Facebook and Twitter and everything else, if you don't pump out what they want to see, you get taken off, you get put in Facebook jail, or you get removed off your monetizing on YouTube because you're pumping out a conservative or Republican type of thought. And they don't want to hear that, they don't want to see that, so if it doesn't fit that narrative, you get bumped off. And that is what's happening today. And it's unfortunate. And the media is a well-oiled pump machine. It's a weapon. Today in age, it is a huge weapon. And I've seen this 45 man go through hell and back. If I had to go through the shit that he's gone through, I would never want to rerun for president. But he does. And you got to ask yourself why. You got to look and do your research on 45, man. Trump. Do your research. You don't have to like him. You don't have to vote for him. But before you go and jump on the bandwagon and say F him and F that, he's racist, he's fascist, he's none of those. You're listening to a liberal, democratic way of thinking that is, I'm sorry to say, like fantastic at what they do, because they do a very well orchestrated job at it, and it works, and people, they listen, and they're dumb enough to just go along with it, you know, instead of doing their own research like I started to do. Because prior to 2016, I never ever in my life gave two shits about politics or really who was even president until I started to see what was going on, and I'm like, this can't be right. So, like, is this guy really this bad? So I started to do my research, and I mean in-depth research of both sides of the coin, and found that what I was hearing and seeing was fucking fake news. It was bullshit. And the networks, they know that their viewers are dumb enough to not question them at all. And it's sad. And the ones that are smart enough to do their research and find out what's wrong and what's right, they're the ones that end up saying, you know what, I'm not watching this channel no more. So many people from CNN and other of their constituents have flocked over to Fox News, and I'm not saying that I'm a Fox News fan. I tend to watch more Fox than CNN, but I like independent news because that's where you get the real gist and the real source of really what's going on. And you need to do your research. I do my research, and I'm not going to go into what he's done and blah, 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 blah. You know, listen, it's all out there. You can find it all for yourself. The country, people need to work together and start, what is this guy doing? And start behaving like Americans, okay? Racism doesn't exist except for the people propaganding it, okay? Does racism exist? Yes, it exists. We are humans. We are, by default, designed with flaw, okay? But I know a lot of black people that won't even talk to me. As a matter of fact, I just spoke to one of my friends recently who's a black man. Him and I have been friends for 12 years, drivers together. He's been to my, birthday, and he didn't know I voted for Trump. And now all of a sudden, the other day, we're talking. I told him I voted for Trump, and he was like, really? Like, blown away. And I was like, yeah, I did. I wanted to see change, everybody had their hand in the cookie jar in Washington. Now the cookie jar got shut, and everyone's pissed off, and that's why Trump is under attack and being under siege every single day, because these guys want their lifestyle back. They want to get back to all the illegal shit that they were doing, okay? And FYI, Nancy Pelosi's son works for, you guessed it, Burisma, has had ties, they all have, with ties with Ukraine, dude. It's not just Hunter Biden. There's so much shit that the media only tells you. Getting back to my friend, okay? I've been texting him, calling him, nothing. And I thought to myself, I really hope I'm wrong. I really hope that my buddy of 12 years did not give up on our friendship just because I voted for somebody. And he's a liberal. And and that makes me feel like, you know what? This is what he's doing. He's not talking to me because I voted for Trump. That's how Democrat liberals are. Where me, I don't care. Even as a Republican, I don't care who you voted for. If you're my friend, you're my friend. You're my friend, family, blood first. Okay? Before anything else. We could agree, we could disagree, we could agree to disagree. Moral is, we are still friends. And you know what? I think I lost that one. Ain't gonna bother me one bit. That's his loss, not mine. But that just goes to show you the mentality of people today. Full of hate. And hate breeds racism. And it breeds it. And it perspires it. And I know a lot of black people that won't even talk to me. I mean, I'm half Puerto Rican. French and Irish. I'm a mutt. Okay? And I'm a conservative. Rare breed, boy. But I'm open to both sides. When people are wrong, you're wrong. And I'll tell you, you're full of shit and you're wrong, man. Okay? You go and ask them to look at my side of the argument, and it's like, I don't need to because I know better. That's a liberal mind. That's the problem that we have today. That breeds racism. Racism in between your own color, man. Racism isn't just a black and white thing. There's 50 shades of gray to that son of a bitch. Okay? And that's the reality. And the media, I'm sorry. That is what's starting racism. The liberal agenda. Democratic liberal agenda is propagandizing this, and it's part of their agenda to divide the country and then blame it on 45. It's all him. I'll tell you what, if this wasn't an election year, this shit wouldn't be happening. They tried everything to get this guy out of office, and they have failed. They make themselves look stupid, okay? And people and their followers are still like, yay, Democrats! Not really, and not even realizing the reality of the picture, man. To me, that's the most disturbing part. Anyway, my rant is over. I'm at my home 20, about to pull in very shortly here. I'm Negron. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. I'll probably post this on, both my channels, Finding Freedom RV, which you will never see any kind of politics or whatever, okay, in any of my videos. I'm about having fun and finding freedom in any way, shape, or form I can with my family, camping, RVing, we're out there, man. And that's what Finding Freedom is all about. How-tos, DIYs, and just getting out with your family, and loving your children and having fun and finding freedom in any way that you can. So make sure you subscribe, like, and share, and hit the notification bell. And again, I'm Negron. Thank you for watching my long gas venting video. And we'll see you next time. Take care.